Hey everybody. Alright, so I'm going to go over all of my food for 7 days on the High Sierra Trail. So one thing that I think is a little bit different about this video than a lot of other videos I've seen out there, and you've probably watched them too by this point, is that you've noticed that for a longer backpacking trip, let's say it's 5 or it's 7 days, there's a lot of guys that are on the John Muir Trail. They're going to be out there for 5 or for 7 days, but at some point on that trail they're going to be able to stop somewhere. They're going to be able to catch a restaurant. They're going to be able to grab a lunch or a dinner someplace in the middle of that 5 or 7 day trip. On the High Sierra Trail, there's nowhere to stop in that 7 days or in that 5 days, so you really have to be 100% totally self-sufficient for however long it is that you're on the High Sierra Trail. For me and my group, it happens to be 7 days. So let me show you the food that I'm bringing. Okay, so there's really nothing revolutionary here. Most of these ideas have really just been stolen from other people, other people's YouTube videos, but hopefully you find something in this video that you can incorporate into your meal plan. So for breakfast, while I'm hiking, basically until dinner, it's just a lot of small snacks. I don't want to feel full, and a big breakfast really just slows me down. So I'm just going to do 1 packet of oatmeal, and then I'm going to add to it 1 scoop of vanilla whey protein, and that is going to be a milk substitute, but it's going to also obviously add calories to it, and it will add some flavor and obviously protein to it as well. I'm going to give myself 1 of the Starbucks instant coffees in the morning, and then also I have a couple extra just in case maybe I'm really tired and I need some extra get up and go. Then for on the trail, I have these. I bought these at Farmer's Market, and I have 1 pound of already pre-shelled roasted and salted pistachios, and they are amazing. And then I have half a pound of seasoned and salted macadamia nuts in here, and hazelnuts, and so those are going to be awesome. Ton of calories, they taste good, and I'm not going to get sick of them. And then I know that this seems crazy. I have not seen this in other people's videos, but I am going to bring 2 avocados just because there are a ton of calories in avocados, and I'd love to get just a little bit of produce in my diet. I'll probably eat them the first day just because I don't really want to carry them for a super long period of time, but I'll probably have this on the first day, and then I'll eat the second one on the second day. But there are a lot of calories in there, and it's nice just to get some real food, whatever that means, into my diet. So I am going to bring some avocados. And I will say also that all of this is all of my food for 7 days. It's 2 pounds of food per day, and so that kind of gives you an idea of how heavy all of this is. So let's see. Moving on to lunch, every day I'm going to have a peanut butter and jelly sandwich using tortillas. So super common. If you've watched a lot of other videos out there, then this is not a new idea for you. So I just grabbed random peanut butter that happened to be sitting in my cabinet. So peanut butter, it's important obviously that it has a plastic container. This is not in a plastic container. Raspberry jam, it's my favorite jam, and that will get moved into a plastic container. These tortillas, these are just ones that were randomly in my fridge, not necessarily the ones that I'm going to bring, but for the sake of the video. I do like these Mission ones, the flour ones. They simulate a cheap white bread really well, and so I do like those. So I'll have 2 of the tortillas, peanut butter and jelly sandwiches for lunch on the trail. Let's see. Moving on to afterwards, I don't know, maybe around 1:30, something like that. I'm gonna have a Fig Newton. These Fig Newtons are 100 calories per ounce, which is pretty good. It's the same, like Cliff Bars are the same amount of calories per ounce as the Fig Newtons are, and I just prefer the Fig Newtons over the Cliff Bars, just because I like Cliff Bars, but I burned myself out on them. So I am going to bring the Fig Newtons with me. So that brings us up to dinner. First and foremost, a friend recommended this recipe to me. Thank you, Skylar. Let's see. The Santa Fe refried beans. And so these 2 containers right there, that will make up 3 dinners. And I have these little Colby Jack cheeses that I'll add to it. So it'll be bean and cheese burritos. So I'll need tortillas. And then I have little Tapatio packets. You can go to Taco Bell. The Tapatio is just stronger. That's why I like the Tapatio packets. And so that will be 3 dinners for my trip. I try and stay away from the Mountain House, but I am going to bring this one beef stew. What I like to do is I take half of this package. I use half of this package, and I rehydrate half of this, and then I rehydrate half of this. I put the mashed potatoes in. This will fill up half of my mug, and then I will cover the mashed potatoes with the beef stew, fill up my mug. It's a very full, hearty meal, and it just tastes really good. This over here is really a backup meal. It is a bunch of small shell pasta, and what I have done with this is you just get boiling water and you fill up your cup with boiling water. You add the pasta to it, let it sit for 5 minutes, and then it will be totally cooked all the way through. So my point is that it doesn't take a lot of fuel. Just if you have a jet boil the water, and that's all the fuel that you'll need for that meal. And then once it's cooked through and it's strained, just go to Round Table, get yourself some Parmesan cheese and red peppers, and it will add a lot of kick and a lot of flavor to an otherwise pretty boring meal. So, but that is a backup. So we're just going to kind of put that on the side. So that's 3 nights. This is 2 nights. Brings me up to 5 nights. And now I have my other 2 nights. Pepperoni pizza. I've seen a couple other guys that have suggested pepperoni pizza. I tried it and I absolutely loved it. They were making the pepperoni pizza with tortillas. That's what I did. Absolutely loved it, like I said again. But this time I'm going to use pita bread. So there's 4 pieces of pita bread in there. I have the Bulbuli pizza sauce here. You don't need to buy the pizza to get the sauce. They do sell it separately. So this one package has 300 calories, and this will make 4 pizzas, and I will consume 2 pizzas per night. So this is 2 nights worth of food. Pepperoni here for the pizza, and then cheese. And if one thing that I think might worry some people is that you find this in the refrigerated section a lot of times, and so you might think that you need to refrigerate it up until the backpacking trip or something along those lines, and you'll notice that it says refrigerate after opening. They sell this in a section that is not refrigerated. It's sitting on a shelf, so this will keep for longer than you probably otherwise might think. So this, if you're going on a longer backpacking trip, don't worry about the pepperoni. It will last. So that covers basically my dinners. And let's see. I'm bringing these Crystal Lights here. I have a raspberry and a mango peach. Water is fine for the middle of the day and while I'm hiking. I don't want to drink this stuff while I'm hiking. But at dinner and then until I go to bed, I want something with flavor. This stuff weighs almost nothing. It's alarming how light this package is and how little is actually in this package and how much water it actually flavors. So can't be great for you, but it tastes great. So I have 2 of those, 1 peach mango, 1 raspberry for each evening, just as a way to add some flavor, and it's a morale boost. Moving on to dessert for the evening, I have some dark sea salt chocolate. It won't melt. At least it's a lot harder to melt. Every video seems to have Snickers bars. I kind of wanted to try and get away from the Snickers bar and be a little original, but at the end of the day, these things are obviously taste amazing. There's 250 calories in here, and it weighs 1.86 ounces. So calories per ounce, it is very, very hard to beat the Snickers. So that's why they taste great, and there's a ton of calories in it, so it's hard to beat. And then I really just like the peanut butter M&Ms, so I'm gonna bring this package along with me. That'll be a great snack. One thing that, one thing that I am bringing is mainly tea, but I'm gonna bring 2 packets of hot cocoa, just because it actually kind of weighs quite a bit, the cocoa, compared to the tea. So I have 2 packets of hot cocoa just to mix it up. Then I have 10 bags of tea. This is my favorite tea. Tea weighs next to nothing, and again, it tastes great. It's kind of another morale boost in a way to add flavor to your diet on the trail. One thing that I really like here is the Trader Joe's candied pecans. So this weighs 5 ounces, and it's 950 calories in this small bag. So it is 190 calories per ounce. There's a lot of calories in this, and they taste amazing. And really, at the end of the day, they got to be better for you than peanut butter M&Ms, right? And let's see. So that covers that. Lastly, Top Ramen. So I am going to bring some Top Ramen, just if for nothing else, so that I have a little bit of peace of mind. Because at the end of the day, I'm still going to wonder, am I going to get really hungry? Am I going to run out of food? Am I going to have some type of anxiety because I don't have enough food? I always pack too much food, but being on a 7-day trip, I just worry even more about running out of food than I would otherwise. So I'm going to bring the Top Ramen on this trip. It weighs next to nothing. It takes up more space than it does actually weigh anything. So I'm going to bring that Top Ramen just as a backup. So I've got all my meals planned for my 7 days. I've got the Top Ramen, and I've got the pasta that will that'll be 6 extra meals just as a backup. So I've tried to fit in a little bit of produce there, and all of this comes in at 2 pounds per day. So not too bad, not ultralight, but also not too bad. One thing that I will say that as a little motivation with some of these things, with the tortillas and the pizza, bean and rice, that your girlfriend, your wife, if you want her to come backpacking, you might be fine with just eating the beef stew or the Mountain House every single day. More than likely, she's going to appreciate, some Trader Joe's or some farmers market nuts, or some produce, or food that is just resembles more day-to-day food. She'll probably appreciate that. That might be an incentive for her to come and tag along more than she would otherwise. So nothing revolutionary in here, but hopefully you found something that you can incorporate into your meal plan. And thanks for watching.